It finished 3-2 at Molineux last night. Another win, up to 4th. It's Have Your Say, the show where I put the link in the chat. You want to come on and have a chat? You come on and have a chat with me and James. Firstly, then, James, what is your thoughts on that game last night? Because I mean, there was a lot of thoughts going around after the team news announced last night. But what's your thoughts, mate?
Surprised, very, very surprised, mate. I thought the team done really well. Like, I must admit, I was a bit sceptical last night. I thought we'd get rolled. And listen, I'm a big enough man to admit when I'm wrong, and I got it wrong last night. I didn't see that performance coming. But let's not forget that they should have scored before they did in the first half, and it could have been a different story if they would have had their shooting boots on. The only concern that I will say I had is that we've conceded 5 goals in 2 games now, and we're starting to concede a lot of goals. But fair enough, we're scoring goals, but we're conceding. You know what I mean? It's not good for the blood pressure, I must admit. But it was a great win and great 3 points, I must admit. I was like a nervous wreck last night. So yeah.
Yeah. Let's dissect the game then. To do that we've got West Ham online, and Phil. How are you guys?
Yeah, good, mate. Something, guys.
Yeah, good. Right then, Phil, to you first. You did the preview. What was your thoughts then?
Well, what can I say? First off, it was almost carbon copy of the Arsenal match, wasn't it? Do you know what? As good as we was, there was always that little part of me in the back of my head. I was just thinking, just don't do a deja vu of the Arsenal match where they're going to come back and make it 3-0 or something like that. But it was just great to watch. Lingard was just outstanding. That first half an hour of Antonio, I thought he just played everyone off the park, and then he obviously went off. Second half, obviously, wasn't as great, but the important thing is we stuck on and got 3 points. That's all I cared about.
Yeah. And West Ham online, brief thoughts for the game?
I pretty much agree with everything Phil said. I think every time we play Adama Traore, he for some reason turns into a player we all expect him to be. But overall this season he's been quite poor. But yeah, I do think the defending was quite, as James said before, the blood pressure. I mean, my God, there must be 3 or 4. I can't get my words out here. There must be 3 or 4 holes in every West Ham fan's wall after that game. I mean, Jesus Christ, I was a nervous wreck, and me and James were saying last night that would have been record breaking, dropping 2-3-0 leads 2 games in a row.
You wasn't saying that. You wasn't saying that on Twitter at 3-0 up. You say, "Oh, James, don't worry, relax, mate. Trust me, I've got 34 years experience with West Ham. It is never over. Trust me."
The only hole in James, the only hole in your house was in the fridge, mate, wasn't it?
Ooh.
Oh. Well, you know what I mean. There was a hole in my beers that I drank last night. That's about it. But if we're going to start throwing insults, Jakey boy, you know what I mean? Shots have been fired. That's fine. I can take the obesity joke. You know what I mean? But nah, listen. In all seriousness,
it wasn't meant like that. Honestly, it wasn't meant like that. It was meant for the beers. Trust me.
You should have seen mine and James's debate argument on Twitter.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but in all seriousness, it was a good result. It was a good result. But the only thing that is concerning me is that Diop and Dawson starting to get fanned out a little bit now. That's the only thing. Like, that's 5 goals in 2 games, and let's be honest, Dawson isn't being the Dawson who we had 5-6 games ago. Like, he's starting to get fanned out very quickly, and we need a Bonner back, mate. That is the one person. Do you know what? If I will take anyone being injured, I will take Rice being injured. Right, I can handle that, but we need a Bonner back. If we get a Bonner back, then I would fancy us all day long.
Yeah. Who would drop out though? Like when Bonner comes back fit, we're going to play
Diop, mate. Diop for me.
Diop for me.
Yeah. I think Dawson's more experienced than Diop. I like Diop. obviously West Ham Online has got a different opinion on Diop, but I like Diop, but I don't think at the minute he's putting up any trees. If I'm being truthfully honest, and I think he was what's the word? He's getting a bit clumsy and he's doing stupid things at the wrong times, and it's costing us. Do you know what I mean? So we need a Bonner back as soon as possible, really.
Yeah.
Kent says, afternoon, Jake. Great for us to be fourth. I'm just going to enjoy the ride. I think injuries and lack of squad depth will cost us. My heart was pounding the last 10 minutes. I think our hearts were pounding for the whole second half. But Luke, the 3M's room for a Mark Noble lookalike. There definitely is. Luke Legend, hope you well. Andy, hope you well. We're speaking in French now in the chat. So, yeah. Let's kind of dissect the game then. I mean, James, first half hour. We were on fire. Lingard, talk to me about Lingard in that first half an hour.
Phenomenal, mate. He's carrying his team at the minute. Let's be honest here. Like, this boy has scored X amount of goals. I think it's 6 goals.
Yeah.
In
6 goals.
6 goals, 3 assists in 8 games, I believe. Like,
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not being rude or nothing. If he's not on form, we're nowhere near the top 4. His goal was phenomenal, but do you know what? I think there's a one player that I will give a good shout out to, and I've watched it back a few times today. Is Kafal. I thought Kafal was brilliant. That first goal, he was bombing down that side with Lingard, but obviously he thought about it. He thought he can't match Lingard's pace, and Lingard was away, like, you know what I mean, in the night. But yeah. Jay Lings, mate, this is the man we need to sign up as soon as possible. Right, we can't, as I say it on West Ham Fan TV, and I'll say it on here, and I'll say it on every platform I go on. He needs to be signed, sealed, delivered on the first day of the window. Right, there cannot be no hiccups, and there can't be no hesitation here, because if there is, a team like Leicester, and people say, oh, he won't play for Leicester and all that's rubbish. That boy will get in Leicester's team. Like, it's a fact. Do you know what I mean? He's going to get in front of people like picking Mark Albrighton and, like, you know what I mean, Perez and all that. So let's get real, like, do you know what I mean? Obviously the second goal was a good team goal. Yet again, he's involved in that again. Like, it's like a semi-assist. And then the third goal. That third goal that he provided for Bowen, right? If you watch that back, that was a masterclass assist. Because not only that, he made sure he played it in a way that it landed on the left-hand side for Bowen to run onto it and shoot. And Bowen didn't have to stop his run. He had forward momentum to lever it as soon as he could see the ball. He's right there. And do you know what? I'll hand it over to the other boys. I think Bowen, we're starting to see Bowen back now. I'm pleased that Bowen's starting to come back. I thought he was good last night and all. He should have scored another goal, but it was a good save from Patricio, I think his name is. But
Patricio,
yeah. Sorry, West Ham Online, don't beat me up. But but yeah, other than that, all good, man. All good.
Yeah, we are joined all the way from the Three Hammers with Luke. Luke, you all right?
Yeah, good, mate. Nice to see all you boys. Some of you I haven't met before, some of you I have. Nice to see you boys. Nice to see everyone. Everyone happy as well because we're in fourth.
Yeah. Even more happier that it's Easter holidays as well, Luke.
Oh, definitely, mate. 2 weeks off for me. Lovely.
And me. Luke, just thoughts on this that came out. What were your thoughts when you immediately saw this at 7:15 last night?
I was quite happy, actually. I thought that's the best we can do with what we had. You know, once Rice went down injured, it was always going to be Mark Noble in. As much as we wanted Fronell maybe to play that role or someone like Lanzini to play that role, it was always going to be Mark Noble. We always knew Moyes was going to pick that. But the fact that Masuaku was back really excited me. And it showed, you know, he relished the chance to play with Lingard. And I think Masuaku being back is massive. Apparently Bonner's back running and hopefully he'll be back playing soon as well. So that's going to be massive, hopefully going into these last sort of 8 games left we've got now. But yeah, I wasn't disappointed with the lineup at all, mate, to be honest with you.
Yeah, completely. Phil, God, that was a class goal from Lingard, wasn't it? Just that run, I think it's got to be given as the solo goal of the season, hasn't it? The way he just went and he just kept kept on going. And then I liked the way Antonio kind of brought the defenders that way and opened it up for Lingard to go on through. Nice finish. And after, what was it? I've actually got it. Wrote down in my banner. Hang on. Review. On the 6th minute, we were 1-0 up, Phil.
Oh, how many contenders have we got for our goal of the season?
Yeah.
Especially ones from him as well. I think, obviously we know how many goals he scored, but he's probably got most of his goals are going to be contenders for goal of the season.
There's only one goal, Phil. There's only one goal, mate, for me, and that's Lanzini's rocket against Spurs, mate. I'm sorry,
that
mate.
as well.
You can't. No one can say any different. That is not the goal of the season because it was 3-0 down. When do West Ham ever recover from 3-0 down? That's the first thing. And to score the 94th minute against Spurs, rocket top corner. We will take that.
It's a good competition this year, though. It is a good competition. Lingard's one against Arsenal last week was unbelievable as well. That was a great goal. The way he took that. Yeah. Antonio bicycle kick against Man City, weren't it? Did he have like
Hello
versus defender? That was a good one.
Overhead kick. Overhead kick versus Palace.
This is Lanzini against Spurs, lads.
No. He's obvious.
It's just contenders. To be fair.
It's a good competition this year.
To be honest.
Ask the chat. Go on.
Go on then, chat. To be honest, it's just we've got so many, haven't we? I mean, we can probably for the top 10 of contenders for goal of the season. Of course, as James says, there's only one, and if that isn't given goal of the season, I don't know what will. I really don't know. And Andy says Palace against Palace and Sheffield United. Yeah, that one against Sheffield United that won us that game as well. West Ham Online. We'll move on. West Ham Online. That was another superb half an hour from West Ham. What were your thoughts? I saw a bit on the Instagram group chat, but what was your thoughts at that half an hour mark?
Well, I thought, Jesus Christ, Wolves' defence is a disgrace. But as for us, I thought we were brilliant. I thought Lingard, as I say, every time he got the ball, he looked like prime Maradona. Bowen was brilliant. His goal was terrific. Antonio, by the way, I've got to give a shout out to him. Antonio was phenomenal when he was on the pitch. He just seemed to, even when he fell over, he seemed to get past everyone. So, yeah, I loved Antonio's performance. Masuaku, I loved his performance going forward. Yeah, fantastic. But then, obviously, after that, we fell asleep for the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah, Luke, that Antonio 30 minutes was so refreshing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I said on my review, it looked like he actually had a touch for a change. You know, he's obviously got one of the worst touches like Colton Cole. But last night, everything was sticking to his feet. He was bullying. He was like really hungry, pushing forward. Listen, nothing but praise for him last night. That 35 minutes was one of the best 35 minutes I've seen him play. And it seems like Lingard loves playing with him as well, which again is always good for us. Hopefully he's not too injured.
Yeah, I mean, it's so disappointing. James, what was your thoughts on Antonio's half an hour?
I thought he was good, mate. Yet again, he hits the post. Yet again, another post hitting thingy. This boy hits the post like X amount of times this season. He could have done it better with his header that he had. I don't know if everyone's forgot about that one. Ball comes in for Kafal. He has an header and like it's nowhere near the goal. But other than that, does well for Lingard's goal, the first one. He bullying their defenders. He was up for it. The key is now he's got to make that consistent because that Antonio has been very short and far between sort of thing. Like, so it's important that he's fit, raring to go. Hopefully he's not injured against Leicester because I'll say it here right now, Leicester game's massive, mate. Leicester game decides if we're top 4 contenders or we're pretenders, basically. So
yeah, definitely. Andy's joined us. Andy, give us your thoughts at half time, and then what was your thoughts at full time?
First 30 minutes, I thought, what's the score going to be? I thought it was going to be another 4-0. We was cruising. Everyone knew their jobs. I think the win yesterday was for Declan Rice as well. I think the team got together and realised that they need to do it for him. But no, the second half, I'm going to give Noble a lot of credit for what he done yesterday. He's what he
How
what
much
he
he
done-
paying you? How much he paying? He's paying you something, isn't he? Gotta be. You know what I mean?
Who's paying
Andy,
me?
come,
me, the
come
lookalike,
on.
not Noble lookalike. I need an
Oh.
haircut,
Yeah.
mate, massively.
Have you had the transplant like Noble?
Yeah.
No, but all
he's done well.
seriousness, what he done, even in the last 5 minutes when the game was getting slowed down, he was telling everyone what to do, and he just done basically what Deck would do. He's never going to be as good as Deck. Obviously, he's getting older, but for what he done, and Souček and Lingard, 10 minutes to go, and they're still running around, and that just shows the hunger that they've got. Any other, I'm going to throw two names in there. Arnautovic and Anderson, I wouldn't see them doing what them two done with an injury, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there was a few worries. I mean, Souček went down once. James, he went down. It seems to be a bit of a gash on his ankle. Let's hope he's okay. And Lingard seemed to be limping his way through the last few minutes as well.
I won't read anything into that. Souček's had a smack in the face before, and he's got up and started defending. So I'm not really worried about that one. It's going to take a lot more to get that boy down and out, if that makes sense. The Lingard one's a bit of a concern. I won't lie. I'll be straight. If he's one player we can't afford to miss. I know we missed Declan Rice, but we managed without him. Like Fornals can go in there, and obviously Noble can do a job in there, and we can get round it. Obviously, he's a big miss, Rice. Right, he's world class, but we've done well to get round it. But if we lose Lingard, then I would say it's bon voyage to any European football, if I'm being honest, because he's the one who's like the driving force in his team at the minute, driving us up the pitch and doing wonders for this club at the minute. So yeah, he's the one we've got a wrapping cotton wool. Obviously Antonio, we've got a wrapping cotton wool. But the main man that we need back at this club as soon as possible is a Bonner. He's the one that I want back in that team to marshal that defence, because let's not get carried away here, gentlemen, yeah? We've won a game, we drew a game, but we've conceded 5 goals in 2 games, and that is a concern, because good teams like Leicester will bang in goals, but they won't concede as many as the others, if that makes sense. So we've got to sort of tighten up defensively, because we're getting a bit opened up, and we was never like this a few weeks back. We was pretty like we went out to City and we only lost 2-1 narrowly, and we played Leeds and we won 2-0. But yeah, 2 games, 5 goals is a bit of a concern, but we need a Bonner back as soon as.
Yeah, completely. Oh, hello. What's going on there? There we go. Completely. That second goal then, West Ham Online, that was Lingard did really, really well on that yet again to keep it in and to push it up the line. Superb from Arthur to get the ball into the box, and a fantastic turn of the body and finish for Pablo Fornals.
Yeah, it was a great goal. I was quite surprised that Fornals finished it, to be honest, because that's the element of his game he really needs to work on. First half of the season especially, I think he missed about 18 sitters, so yeah, it was great to see him score that. It wasn't an easy one as well. It was a difficult finish. I love to see how aware Arthur was of it, because Lingard was going to lose a great spin, but there was 2 defenders there, and Arthur just sort of nicked in and passed it to Fornals.
Yeah. Luke, Bowen and Fornals got on the score sheet last night. Do you think that's positive for them, because they're not? They do miss sitters, and they're not the best in front of goal, are they? Do you think that could give them confidence, Luke?
100%. I'm a big Pablo fan as well, but like you say, with the finishing is something he needs to work on. So it was nice for him to do that goal. Very instinctive goal, just turned his foot and slid it in. And with Bowen, obviously it's 2-2 for him now. Obviously got the goal against Arsenal and got the goal against Wolves last night. So hopefully he can go on and get another couple of goals. I think he's on 7 now. And there's a few players that might, between now and the end of the season, finish on 10 goals, which, no West Ham player finishes on 10 goals. They get a nosebleed when they get to 9. So if we can get 2 or 3 that get 10 goals, that just shows we've got goals everywhere on the pitch this year, which is a great thing.
Yeah. Just gone up on Instagram. This is positive that Declan Rice has put up. In the gym, trying to get back. Oh, we've lost West Ham online there, but that is very, very positive. But the third goal, then, Andy, quite well taken from Bowen. I mean, good again from Lingard, to get us up the pitch. But I mean, the keeper probably should have done better.
But if you don't shoot, you don't score. Doesn't matter how you go in. I can't remember. I can't remember some goals this season where they've been lucky. Do you know what I mean? I think we deserve a bit of luck. And to be honest, the goalkeeper looked shocking all that game. To be honest, he didn't look comfortable. But talking of goalkeepers, it may split the fan base. I thought Fabianski should have done better with their second goal. In my opinion, I think he went down the wrong way and should have at least got us.
Andy, come on now, man. Come on. Come on, Andy.
That's my opinion.
Don't be a Fab hater.
I'm not a Fab hater. I'm being honest.
You're not. You got an 18-year-old top wonder kid striker through one-on-one with Fab. What else can Fab do? Don't blame. Listen, let's get something clear here. Don't blame Fab. Blame Cresswell.
Yeah, that was Cresswell's mainly Cresswell.
Yeah, well.
But everyone's entitled to their opinion, James. Everyone's
Yeah,
entitled.
I know, Andy. But come on, man. You've got to have an opinion. What sort of stands up, though?
If you look,
Andy, I love you, man. I love you, brother. Yeah, I love you. Yeah, you're like me, and you've got a good vibe going, right? But where's Cresswell there?
No, I'm not blaming. I'm just saying the goalkeeping position. I think he was too far over, or he should have went. I'm not. That's my only criticism of him. Everything else he done well last night, but that could have, in my opinion, he should have saved it, or got a thing, or try and get something on it. I think he was too far over, in my opinion.
I thought Fabianski played all right last night, though. Like, he made two good saves. I'm not disagreeing you. Listen, I'm just like messing like. But in the first half, he done a good save against Traore. Traore goes one-on-one, or not one-on-one, but he gets through the midfield and has a shot, good save. And the one against William Jose, where before they scored, he does a good save, and then Neto puts it over the bar. But
I think it's his age. I'm joking. I'm only playing. I would like to know what the chat, if what the chat reckon. Do you reckon Fabianski should have saved it, or am I just on my own?
Well, we will see. Let's take some comments though. Luke says thought Dawson was okay last night. Agree that Oggy is different class. Luke again says Lingard has been hilariously good. Tom says United just need just need to name their price for Lingard. How much would you pay for a player that you knew would get 6 goals and 4 assists in 8 games? Luke, I mean, it is what he's done. He came in from that Aston Villa game, and I had doubts when he came to West Ham, but.
So did I.
Luke, it is another Moyes masterstroke.
He's a massive player. I see Nicky sat on West Ham Fan TV last night that he gives him the Payet vibe a little bit. Obviously, Payet's arguably one of the best players I've ever seen put a West Ham shirt on. But he's got that same sort of excitement, that drive at players. He stands a man up and they don't know what to do. If we can get him for just under 30, I think we might have to pay up to about 25, maybe 28. Yeah. I think Man United might play a few games with us. There's always that fear about the Rice thing as well. But I do think he will be a West Ham player, but I don't think it will happen quickly. I think we might have to play a few games, maybe after the Euros, and we'll be sweating a little bit, thinking, is he going to come? Is he not going to come? I think he will come. I think Moyes is like a dad figure to him, but it's going to be a few little games from Man United before we see him sign that dotted line, I think.
I mean, it's never going to be an easy signing. It's West Ham. We never make a signing easy, do we? They always drag it out for as long as they can. But Andy, that's you. We get 6 points against the Foxes, Chelsea, and Everton. We get 4th, in my opinion. I think I saw somewhere on Twitter that if we win 5 of our games and don't lose to Chelsea, we could be there, Champions League. I do know this. I think that's yes. I love the Irons. In French there. Scott said, Leicester is now huge. I'll just worry about our midfield getting overrun. Luke said Lamella versus Arsenal will get a goal of the season. I mean, it was all right. It was.
Spurs fan.
Yeah.
It was lucky. It was lucky.
I mean, come on. For the timing, for
It's the
everything.
moment. It's the moment of Lanzini
Yeah.
as well, and it's a moment.
Yeah.
Um,
Just 2 seconds. Adam Frankel, we are massive. We are. Ogbonna to Championship, Craig. Yes. Adam. Scott says, we desperately need a new left back in the summer. Saints are looking at Henry. Is that Rico Henry? I think he means there from
Yeah.
Brentford.
Need to get him out of Brentford, mate, because he won't be there next year. I spoke to my Brentford mate on Amers Polls recently, and he said he's the best left back in the Championship. And if we don't get him out, we need a left back at this club. Like either way, so yeah, he's top class.
Yeah, Adam says it's the last year of his contract, so they can't demand a big fee for him, or he could leave for free. Tom says agree with both. Creswell at fault for there being a chance, but Fabianski didn't narrow the angle quick enough. Andy, did you want to say something now?
Yeah, I want to put something to. Well, you can put it in the chat as well, and a question for you as well, Jake. If Man United are difficult and they won't Lingard go, and in the end they take a fee, would you take Ivan Toney coming in and Lingard coming in January, or Lingard in the summer, or not Ivan Toney at all?
It's a good question, actually.
Luke, I'll put that to you first whilst I brew that in my mind.
Do you know what? If I couldn't sign Lingard, mate, I wouldn't be so much about Ivan Toney because obviously it's a striker. I think I would go all over someone like Loftus-Cheek or someone like that. Because every time I've seen Loftus-Cheek play for Fulham, I think he's been really, really good. I know he's a bit injury prone, but he's the only bloke I've ever seen bully Declan Rice twice. Like every time Loftus-Cheek comes up against Rice, he bullies him and wins the battle. But someone like that, I love the way he drives with a ball, Loftus-Cheek. But yeah, you're looking for an essential attacking midfielder. If we can't get him, I'd maybe sniff around someone like that. I don't know. I know James.
What's your answer, Luke? Lingard, Toney in the summer, or Lingard in January?
Lingard in the summer, because we've seen it. We know what he can do.
James?
I think. Oh yeah, go on, James.
Sorry, Jake.
Both. Sign both. That's what I'll do.
Yeah, that's
but we're skin, yeah. If you had
no, that's skin rubbish, right? 5 years away from Upton Park, we're possibly going for Champions League. We sign both, mate. Simple as that. Lingard needs to be here. That's the first thing. We need to get him signed and still delivered. And the next breath is get Winston Reid and a cash deal to Brentford and get Ivan Toney out of there. He's the one. He's the one that you need to go up there, get him out of there, right? Because I'll tell you what, if Harry leaves Spurs, I guarantee you Spurs will go after Ivan Toney. And you've heard that here first, right? 100%.
Spurs in the know.
What's your answer?
Yeah.
But what's your answer?
My answer will be Lingard in the summer.
One. Cool.
Lingard in
Jake?
the summer.
Yeah, I think there's more strikers out there that we've been heavily linked with that are very, very decent. So I'll go Lingard in the summer because I think that we completely couldn't lose him. And Man United are going to be difficult. And I saw the TalkSport rubbish that James tagged me in today with Simon Jordan.
Sorry about that.
That brought me right down today. No, I just shut up,
mate. I know.
And then Trevor Sinclair went on there and said the right thing. Well done, Trev. But yeah, good question.
Jake, sorry, before I forget, your dad blocked me out, but anyone who offended with my swearing in the chat yesterday before you build up, I do want to apologise. I forgot your age.
Not to worry. Tom says, James is spot on. No reason at all we should sign both. That's the reason we're at the new ground, right? To compete for Europe in season. Yeah.
That's right, mate. At the end of the day, Champions League. The next game against Leicester will tell me. Well, all I need to know. If we beat Leicester, then we are rolling, boys. 100%.
Yeah. Right, let's just narrow down on some individual players then. We're gonna go to you, Luke, on Mark Noble. What was your thoughts on his performance last night, Mark Noble?
Listen, people know that I've slated Mark for years. He's a legend at the club, but for a few years recently, he's, in my opinion, he's been holding the team back. It's not his fault. In centre midfield, we've been very short, but I can't deny that last night he was excellent. I thought his passing was excellent. He put the naughty tackles in when he needed to, and as Andy alluded to earlier, he was pointing around, telling people what to do, go here, there, and everywhere. And yeah, if you want me to give him a rating, I'll give him a good solid 8.5 out of 10 last night. I thought he was excellent. I really do.
Breaking news. There's some news.
Oh, God.
Oggie's back. Hey.
Do you want me to... Mike Dean has been given the referees for the Leicester game.
Well, that's a loss then. Or at least a red card.
Oh, my God, mate. The FA don't want us to get anything. The FA do not want us to get anything. Mike Dean again.
I thought you were going to say something positive, bring the room up, Andy.
Yeah.
Nice one, Andy. That's cheered my Tuesday up. Lovely.
Oh, dear. Oh,
Breaking news. I've had KFC.
I saw that. Andy, I was going to come to you, but James, I'll go to you first. Mark Noble, thoughts and rating.
Do you know what? I'm a big man, and I can hold up my hands and say, you know what? I got it wrong last night with Noble, and I can honestly hold my hands up and know when that it takes a bigger man to say that he's wrong. I got it wrong last night. I thought Noble done well. I thought he played well. I thought he passed the ball well. And do you know what he done very well was he nipped in for challenges, knowing that a challenge was coming, and bide fouls. He done that very well last night. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. I won't give him an 8. He done exactly what we wanted him to do. Sat in front of the defence, passed the ball out, recycled the ball, and we won it. And I'll give him a 7, mate. I thought he was all right. He was decent.
Scott's back in. Mike Dean is saying our last game was Leeds that Dean did referee. He wasn't too bad, yeah, but I don't think many West Ham fans are going to forget that Fulham incident for a long time. Tom says, haha, they've won again. How did we stop them? Oh dear. Dear, honestly. Andy, Mark Noble, just briefly.
I agree with everything what Luke said on that. What I said earlier. I think he was the second best player on the pitch behind Lingard last night. If Antonio was on the pitch for 45 minutes or an hour, I reckon he would as well. He's an 8 out of 10 for me last night.
Yeah. West Ham Online's gone over to Forge from Iron, but that's all right. We've got these 4 here. That's all right. Right then. So, next player that I've got is this man, Pablo Fornals. I think he had a better game last night. I really did. Hopefully this is going to give him some confidence, James. He got the goal. He only seems to score against Liverpool, but he didn't score against Liverpool. Let's hope he can push on now, and not be so I don't want to say bad, not so not good in front of goal.
He needs to. This is what we need him to do now. He's got everything in his game. I think all the lads here would agree that Pablo needs to start scoring some more goals. I think he's only got 3 goals all season. And to me, he's played... I've done a little bit of stats work the other day, and he started and finished 13 games and out of 20-something, 20-plus, right? He's got to be scoring more than 3 goals as a midfielder stroke attacking number 10. It's a good goal for him last night. I'm glad he's back because he's important now, especially with Rice being injured and the energy in the midfield. But I thought he'd done all right. Obviously, towards the end, he weren't. You could tell he weren't fit because he was running out of steam a bit sharpish. But he got some good minutes under his belt. And as I say, the Leicester game coming up, we need him fit and firing because they have got energy in the midfield.
Yeah, definitely. We did get the ball in the net. That was disallowed. Souček puts it in the back of the net. But he did hit his hands. Andy, do you think that was the right decision?
At first, I was screaming at the screen because the angle. Sky was shocking with their cameras yesterday. I honestly thought it come off his thigh. To be first, but no, right decision. But it didn't cost us in the end. I thought. Bowen done a great shot, but it just proves. Do you know what, Souček? I don't know where to start with him. He was just all over the pitch, and he managed to. I don't know whether you noticed, but he was doing three positions last night. 3 positions instead of him.
Yeah.
And but yeah, no, he was an 8 out of 10 for me last night as well.
I thought
And
he was
Arthur, I
phenomenal.
was pleased for Arthur.
Oh yeah,
I've got to admit, just to counter that with what Andy just said about Suchet, I thought he was phenomenal last night. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. What it is, it's hard when you're watching the game. I don't know about you lads, but when I'm watching the game, I'm engrossed in the game. I'm not really watching the players. But then when you watch it back and you see what they were actually doing after, and you sort of review it after, Such done really well last night. He was everywhere, and as Andy said, he sort of covered that position in front of Noble. He let Noble sit there and go, right, you don't move. You ain't even got to move from this position, basically like that area, and I will cover the rest. And he was. Mate, the geezer's phenomenal, mate. I'll tell you what, to nick him from Slavia, how we have, and what he's doing for our club at the minute is amazing.
Yeah, I think he'll be team of the season as well. I think he'll be in Prem team of the season. I think he's got a massive shout for that.
Yeah. Something coming on that after the season as well, team of the season. Look out for that. But Arthur Masuaku, I don't know about you, but a little bit surprised when he. Oh, I can see James is ready.
I'm not a fan, mate. I'm not a fan. I'm afraid. I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan of him, Jake. I really ain't. He's been here 6 years, and I can tell you right now, I could go and find a better left-sided wing back than Arthur Masuaku. And yeah, he's all right. But I want better than all right. I want, like, when I look at Kafal, I'll tell you the best way of summing it up. People slated Kafal when he first come in and said, "Oh, what's he doing here? Why are we buying a £5.4 million player from Eastern Europe?" He's come in and he's top class, and that's the sort of talent that I want to see at West Ham. And Arthur just doesn't do it for me. He really don't. He's been here 6 years. He's all right. He's not a defender, so he can't defend. And when he goes forward, he's half decent, and that's about it. So this is me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Andy, I'll come to you first. I thought I didn't think he was going to play more than an hour, and I don't think he did. I think he came off for about 65 minutes. What was your thoughts on his Moyes picking him and his performance last night?
For the system what we play, he's crucial. When we've played that system since he's been injured, I thought with sorry to dig him out, Ben Johnson's been sort of not great when we've played that system. So no, going forward, he's probably up there. He's the one who excites me. Like you said, I don't know whether you saw in the first half how comfortable he was when the ball just come into the middle of the box, on the edge of the box. He just touched it and managed to get out of 2 people, and we're on the counter attack. And I think Lingard and Antonio have got that under, and Fornals. I don't know whether you see when Arthur gets the ball, Fornals was playing on the right. Did you see them runs he was running to the left and getting into space? So and that allowed Soufal with a lot of space as well. So no, for me, I'm glad he's back. And like you said, it's another option. I would play the same system what we've played yesterday against Leicester. I think that's the only way we beat them. I don't think if we go out and attack them, I don't think we'll have a chance. I think they'll punish us.
Yeah, and Luke, thoughts on Masuaku last night?
Yeah, I like him. I sort of agree with both of you a little bit. Like James, he can't defend to save his life, but attacking wise, he's got pace. He's got the best feet at the club. I don't think anyone can deny that. His feet are absolutely ridiculous. Like the way he gets out of trouble and like the skills he can pull off. It's just, like I say, he's a bit exciting. He gives the opposition defenders something to think about because he has got that trick, and he can every now and then whip a decent ball in. But like you say, mate, he has got to be a bit more consistent for him to be a top level player, which I don't know whether he'll get there. But he's a decent player for us. He is decent.
For European football, if we get it, I'm just saying if, but I think we will. He'll be a great person to have for the European campaign.
Yeah.
Here's a question I'm going to put to you all then. Would you rather, Moyes, if we play in a back 5, which I think we will do for the majority, in my opinion, if Masuaku's there in the next 8 games, would you rather have Ben Johnson there or Arthur Masuaku? Who would you rather Moyes pick? James, I'll put that to you first.
I'd rather. That's a good question, yeah. And I knew you would come to me, boy, first. So that's right. But I don't. Masuaku there is right. it's the right personnel there, because obviously Ben Johnson's a right-footed player on the left-hand side, and good teams will figure that out, push him onto his left, and he's all over the place. Do you know what I mean? He's all over the place. The only problem I do have with Masuaku is when good teams run at him, he can't defend. And he don't know, he chucks in a foot, or he does something stupid, or gives away a stupid foul. And it's like, why? Like, do you know what I mean? So, obviously, yeah, Masuaku there because he's left-footed. And then I'll be honest, that's the only reason why I'd have him there. Obviously, Ben done well last night coming on. The only thing I will say with Ben, and I don't know about the boys, and I'll hand it over to the boys in a minute, is that he doesn't carry the ball as much. He gets the ball, he'll win the ball, and he wants to release the ball straight away instead of carrying it up the pitch. Like, that's one thing Arthur does do well. I'll give Arthur some praise there. He carries the ball up the pitch, and he gets us up the pitch rapid, like when he's got the ball. So yeah, I'd have Arthur there myself personally, but if I had my way, I'd have a new signing in the summer.
Luke, I'll put it to you.
Arthur, mate, all day long for me. I agree with James though on Ben Johnson, and I think as well with the releasing the ball, sometimes that lets him down as well. Ben Johnson, he has Narf give the ball away a lot in the games he plays. He rushes that pass and it gets lost in the midfield. Definitely going forward till the end of the season at least. Arthur Masuaku has to play left wing back if he's going to play the 5 at the back. If he plays 4, then it's obviously Cresswell at left back. But again, Cresswell's not the best left back either. So definitely a problem position for us. Definitely.
Yeah. I think, Andy, we all noticed that Johnson hasn't got the best passing. I think it was in the Man City game. He gave the ball away. Professional. He gave the ball away quite a lot down that left hand side. But who were you having in there if you were Moyes, Masuaku or Johnson?
Masuaku all day long. Johnson's a right wing back or a right back. I cannot on the right hand side. I can't remember what games it was. A few games he's played there. He does what he says on the tin. He does his job. But I think he just I don't know why he just panics. I think, and it may be the players who we had in front of him which does that. But no, for me, Masuaku all day long.
Yeah. James, you've got a question. I'm going to hand it over to you to ask. Go to Andy first.
Andy, I've got a question for you, mate. Is it a concern that in the last 2 games, Cresswell's performance in the last 2 games?
No, because I think it's when Bonner's next to him is a different player. I think that's more down to Bonner. Don't get me wrong. The Arsenal performance, he was dire, but I think he sort of Bonner's quality compared to Diop and Dawson is a big jump in my opinion on both sides, and I feel that Cresswell feels like he needs to tuck in more to support him. That's the way I see it.
Before I hand it over to Luke, but don't you feel though he's getting attracted to the ball? If you watched last night's second goal for Wolves, he's following the ball. He's not following the man yet again. He done the same thing with Arsenal. He followed the ball, not the man, and they knock a ball over the top to him. And obviously Chambers got onto it for the second goal, and obviously Silva got onto it last night for the second goal. So, what's your thoughts, mate?
I don't. Leicester doesn't. Apart from Vardy, Leicester don't really have any pace. If you think about it, I know they've got Pereira, but they've not got anyone who runs in behind apart from Vardy. I think we need to judge him after the Leicester game. I feel, and once Bonner's back, I think he will be a different player.
Luke,
what about you, Luke? Same question to you, mate.
Yeah, there are some concerns with him. I think, teams do target him a little bit, like the Tottenham game, for example. We'll stick Harry Kane on him because he's not tall. And like you say, he can be attracted to the ball. I think he's quite slow on closing down as well. He'll give a man time to cross the ball in. And then you've got him and Masuaku that both do the same thing. Oh, go on, mate, cross the ball in. Go on, don't worry about it. We won't close it down. And I think, that is a concern, definitely. But till the end of the season, he's done a good enough job for me. He's come up with some good assists this year as well. But in terms of defensive side, definitely it's a problem area, as I said.
Luke's talking about Masuaku. Luke says Masuaku is a body which we need at the moment. He isn't Champions League quality, but a good squad player. I have seen worse at West Ham. He carries the ball up the pitch better than most. Yeah, he does bring us up the pitch, which Lingard does as well, really, really well. James from the Anvil says, Masuaku has been missed badly. He is a good dribbler and has skill. Johnson did well, but he passes it on instinct. That's what it was like last night. We feared being dispossessed too much. Just before we wrap this up, I've got a question that I'd like to ask. And Luke, I'm going to come to you first. I did a video on it earlier. Do you think coming up against the sides like Leicester and Chelsea that we've got with, let's say, better midfields than what we came up against last night, do you think that it could be a real problem with Noble in there?
Yeah, definitely. You look at Leicester's midfield straight away. Tillemans, Ndidi, Maddison.
Yeah.
Ndidi is, probably as good as Rice, in terms of that central defensive midfielder. Tillemans can carry the ball. Maddison's one of my favourite players as well in the Premier League. Then you got Chelsea, Kante, Mason Mount, and then there's another few that can play in that position. So we're going to have to pack the midfield a little bit. But again, I don't know how, with the formation we've been playing, how you're going to fit three in there that's going to do a job. But I will say what Ryan said on West Ham Fan TV over these two games. If we get 3 points, so one of those games is a win, Chelsea or Leicester is a win, I think we will get Champions League football. I'd rather take one of them as a win than 2 draws.
Yeah. Andy, just before I come to you, any news on Antonio injury? I don't think we'll get anything before the weekend. I don't think that Moyes will want to let anything out to knowledge up Leicester at all. I don't think we'll find out until the day. I'm sure people know. I'm sure there's a few people that know, but I'm not sure it will be put out anywhere. But the question to you then, Andy, what I asked Luke, do you think it'll be a problem?
Yeah, I do, but I feel for me the change I would make is Fornals to sit there with Souček and tell him to sit further back. That's the team I wanted last night before Noble, and probably Ben Rama or Fredericks to come in to help, and maybe Bowen up top. I'm thinking because of Antonio's injury, and I feel Fornals would do a job. If Moyes, he's a team player, and I feel if they've got 5 days to train on it. I think I'm not saying it's going to work overnight, but
he might play a false nine. He might play a false nine.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, mate. To be honest, that's
there and stop the defenders pinging the ball out as well, and not have an obvious striker on Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I'd say, to be honest. I think that'll be, if we've got to play the same system as last night, and we can definitely get a result. But like what you said, I'd rather win one and lose one than draw both of them.
Yeah, and same to you, James.
The Leicester game's massive, mate. That's the one we have to win because we are 4 points behind them. If we win that, we're 1 point behind them. They've got FA Cup semi-final against Southampton, and I'm not being funny enough. I think they'd fancy their chances again in the FA Cup semi-final against Southampton to get to the final. Then they've either got Man City or Chelsea. It's key at the minute, but do you know what? If Noble was to sit there and play and do what he done last night, I could sort of respect that, and he hasn't got to move from that position. It's when he has to start running about and basically sit in front of running up and down the pitch, and it ain't going to work. Do you know what I mean? Because he hasn't got the legs and he hasn't got the energy. Obviously, the Lingard thing is an issue. That is the main one. We have to make sure this man is fit. The Antonio one, we can get round it with Antonio because we have done. But Lingard's the one who gets us on the ball, gets us up the pitch. But as far as saying will we get there or will we not get there, we need to beat Leicester, mate. That to me, if we beat Leicester, then we are serious Champions League contenders because we bring them closer. If we don't beat Leicester, we lose that game. They're 7 points clear of us, and I think it's a one place at grabs, like to grab. And we've got Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham in there. Then it's hard. Do you know what I mean? If we can bring Leicester into it, there's 2 spaces for a possible four or 5 teams. So then we've
Yeah.
got half a chance. So we've got to make sure that we beat Leicester. And if we do beat Leicester, then we've got Newcastle the following week, and then we've got Chelsea. And I'd fancy us to go up to Newcastle and get something the way they're playing. And I'd fancy us against Chelsea at home. Do you know what I mean? Especially the way, and let's be honest, no one could have predicted Chelsea getting an hammering against West Brom at their own gaff. So let's be honest there, anything's possible. But let's not run before we can walk. The Leicester game is the one for me. And I'll know after that where we are.
Yeah. I don't know about you. I mean, this is the first season I've done on YouTube, but there's, when we were in fourth, a couple of months ago, we're in November, December. There's mixed feelings in me for the next 8 games because it's the biggest 8 games for a long, long time for West Ham, and I think that there's so much excitement in me, and there's so many nerves in there as well because I think this is a fantastic opportunity, and we may not get it again, but we're going to have a look. We're going to have a look at some comments, and then before we go, we're going to have a look at the Premier League table with 8 games to go. Luke says Cresswell is in decline, but the best left back at the club and a position that needs addressing in the summer. Tom says,
what does he mean? The best left back at the club? He's the only left back at the club. There's no other left back at the club, Luke. You know what I mean? Go on, mate.
Tom says, well, we just have to treat these as one-off cup finals now. In cup finals, anything can happen. To be fair, in this season, anything in the Premier League can happen. West Brom just went and thumped Chelsea by 3 goals at their own stadium. I think we'll do it, lads. I honestly do. I hope we do. We need Noble in the side versus Leicester so he can crack another one of those volleys in. Oh, that was a day. That was. We are West Ham. We will smash Leicester and lose to Newcastle. That is the West Ham way. Luke says, anyway, I assume we'll be 3 up after 25 minutes. Well, yeah, this seems to be, just regular business now, going 3 up after 25 minutes. At the Cardiff, I presume that has come over from Brownie's channel, Footballer Brownie. Go and subscribe to him. Would you take Europa League? Quick fire, yes or no? Andy?
Yes.
Luke?
Yeah, 100%. It's better than last year.
James?
No comment. No comment. I want this is the best chance we're ever getting a Champions League football, mate. If we're 8 games away, for saying this like this, yeah. If we win every game, we're in the Champions League. Look at it like that. So yeah.
Actually, I don't want to put a downer. We're not guaranteed Champions League. We still have to qualify.
Yeah. You still have to play.
I'm not trying to be difficult.
Nice one, Andy.
That's fair enough.
Nice one. Well, like my dreams, they fade and die. Andy, nice one, mate.
But you didn't hear what I said. Because we're going to finish 3rd, we won't need to worry.
Yeah.
Go on, Andy. Will we see under 21s coming in like Coventry or anyone else? James, I think you've got your views on that, but I'm going to come to you for a question in a second. Let's just go through these comments.
Yeah.
Tom says, I wouldn't take Europa League now, as I think we'll get there anyway. Champions League or bust, boys. I like that.
I agree with Tom there. Totally. It's all or nothing now. Like, at the end of the day, like, and I'll ask Luke this, because obviously Luke's sort of, like, seen it and all, but this is our best chance, Luke, isn't it?
Ever. Oh, mate, since the Payet season, really. Payet season, we come really, really close, didn't we? But for Chiatti getting sent off against Crystal Palace and Payet getting injured for that 3 months, we probably would have done it that year, but this is the closest we've come for a long, long time. And probably will be another 10 years again after this season.
And I will say this, right? It's our best chance with the fixtures we've got and all. Because if you take Leicester, just for argument's sake, you take Leicester and Chelsea out of it. We've got Newcastle, Burnley, Brighton, Everton, West Brom and Southampton. I think we would all accept, like, them 6 games. If we was to write down our games on paper, who we'd fancy, right, as a nice little run-in, we'd fancy them all day long. Do you know what I mean? It's just whether or not we've got the players. That's the only problem.
Yeah, definitely. Isabel says, do you think if we keep up the good work, we can get into Champions League? Of course we can. Luke says, no fourth goes into the Champions League groups.
I've just read that they've changed it this year.
Have they changed? Oh, it's even better. See,
sorry.
Come on.
They've known the big West Ham are coming into it. Say, oh, they don't need qualifiers. They're going to win it anyway.
Yeah. Mark Noble's last game is going to be against Barcelona in the final, like next year.
Could you imagine? Scott says, Juventus struggling in the league this year. Ronaldo might fancy a run with West Ham in the Champions League next season. Who knows?
And Haaland as well.
Sugar guys, I've got to go. I'm meant to be in a conference call 10 minutes ago. Bye.
Cheers, Andy. Cheers, Andy. Right. The last thing we're going to look at is we're going to quickly look at this Premier League table. Now, this is good viewing, isn't it? Usually we've got to look at the bottom 8, but we're looking at the top 8, James and Luke. So if we have a look, let me just go on it. So we've got Leicester in 3rd, played the same amount of games. They've got a better goal difference than us, but there's 4 points there. So if we beat them, that comes to 1 point, and I mean, I think it's going to be difficult to finish above them. I mean, it's possible, but you know what happened last season, Luke? They very quickly crumbled, didn't they? Near the end of the season, I think they were looking, 3rd, and then they crumbled. Let's hope they crumble again, Luke.
Yeah, it's classic Brendan, isn't it? Like I like Brendan Rodgers as a manager, but he is known for crumbling, Brendan. I think James made a good point earlier, actually, about the FA Cup. They've never won it. And we've seen it ourselves. You might not remember it, Jake, but when we got to the FA Cup final against Liverpool, the players started shirking the tackles. They didn't want to get injured or anything like that. And it plays in your mind wanting to play in an FA Cup final. So if they were to beat the Saints, I could see their form going boom, 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 like that, because their players want to play in the final. So it could play into our hands.
You've also got to look at the Euros and all. But the Euros come up in the summer, and they're going to be thinking of that. And all some of them, they're going to be like, I don't want to go into these tackles. The Leicester game is the one for me, mate. That if we just think about it like this, if we lose that game, they're 7 points clear. We ain't getting. Like, they're not losing 3 and we're winning 3. If that makes sense. I think that's hard.
Yeah.
I think that's hard to come back. But I'll tell you what, I'd fancy us with a point behind them all day long.
100%, mate.
I mean, especially, and their last fixtures, correct me if I'm wrong, are Manchester United, Chelsea, and Tottenham. That's their last.
Should we have a look?
Yeah, let's have a look.
So they've got United, Chelsea, and Spurs.
Newcastle tough as well. Newcastle could be fighting for their lives in that last few games. There could be a tough game.
Yeah,
could be.
So their last 4 is tough. And then when you look at our last 4, our last 4, Southampton last game of the season, West Brom will probably be relegated, Brighton away, and then I think it's Everton at home. That's right, and that's going from the last game to coming up to recent. So it's going to be interesting. But the Leicester one decides it for me. I don't know about you lads, but I think if we beat Leicester, we drag them into it. Chelsea have got when you look at that table, for instance, right here. I know I'm going on a bit, but Chelsea have got Champions League. They've got Porto. They've got a chance to get to a semi-final of a Champions League. Right? You got Tottenham, who are a mid-table team, so I ain't got to worry about them. You got Liverpool, who they're the ones I fear a little bit because they're on the march a bit. They're starting to perform a bit better, and they took Arsenal to the sword on Saturday and destroyed them really. And Everton, I can't see Everton doing anything. I think they're going to sort of run out of steam towards the end of the season, and that's it. So when we weigh up the pros and cons of it, it's Chelsea and Liverpool, right? You've got to say Tottenham. I know they're a mid-table team, but we've got to say them. But if we can get close to Leicester, if we finish above Leicester, we finish in the Champions League, I believe.
Yeah.
100%, mate. Yeah.
So, looking down us, we've got Chelsea 1 point, played the same amount of games with a better goal difference, so we're 1 point above them. And then down a bit more, we've got Spurs on 49, Liverpool on 49, but I think, we need to, if we've got to beat Leicester, because I think that's so, as James keeps on saying, it is so crucial that we beat Leicester, because that then stops them getting the points. We move up to 55. There's a nice gap there. I don't know who Chelsea have got next week. Let me just flick on there. So Chelsea have got Crystal Palace. I mean, Crystal Palace. Crystal
in between
Palace,
Champions League game as well, though. Remember that in between two Champions League games.
Could you have a look though, Jake? Well, you don't have to put it on the big screen, but could you have a look to see what Tottenham's last fixtures are? 'Cause I know they've got they've got an easier running. I think they've got Sheffield United in there. They've got teams
So
like
they've
that
got
around them.
next game they've got Southampton, then they've got the EFL Cup final, which they've got to be looking at against City. Then they play Sheffield United, Leeds, Sheffield United, Leeds,
away.
Wolves, Aston Villa, and Leicester. So they end on Leicester. That should be interesting.
So it's
Anyway.
not exactly like it's not easy for them either. So like especially Villa, Leicester, Wolves. Like Wolves are the way they played last night, but it'll be interesting. But let's go one game at a time, gents. Let's get this. Let's win against Leicester, and then
we're dreaming. We're dreaming. We're gone.
Yeah.
We are dreaming.
Mate, I'll tell you what. If we do beat Leicester next week, watch me on West Ham Fan TV next week. Honestly, straight up.
Just imagine it. A Champions League night at Upton Park. Anyway, we'll end on that note. Thank you very much to Luke and to James and to Andy, to West Ham Online, and for Phil that joined us earlier. I'll be back very, very soon. Quizzes, reviews, previews, all of that stuff. I'll be back Thursday night, and come on, you irons. And I'll see you very, very soon. Goodbye.
Cheers.